Hi everyone, I'm Joe Stoebenau. Welcome to my channel, Joe Stoe Guitar. Today I'd like to work on the B major chord and the B7 chord. So again, like the F major chord, the B chord is kind of a dreaded chord for beginning guitar players. And I know a lot of people that when they come to a song with the B chord, they just avoid the whole song altogether. Well, hey, you could be missing out on a lot of great songs. So let's work on it together today. I'm going to show you 3 ways of playing the B major chord, and I'll also show you a way to play the B7 chord that's nice and easy. And with a little practice, you'll have it down in Okay, so the B major chord. So how we're going to finger this is, it's going to be very similar looking to the A major chord, except we're going to do it all at the 4th fret. So what I'm going to do this time though, I'm going to use my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers to make this chord. And I'm going to take my 2nd finger and I'm going to put it at the 4th fret on the 4th string. I'm going to take my 3rd finger, I'm going to put it on the 3rd string, also at the 4th fret. And I'm going to take my 4th finger, my pinky, and I'm going to squeeze it in there and play the 2nd string at the 4th fret. So it looks very similar to an A major chord, except we're just playing it at the 4th fret. So now what you could do is you could just play those 3 strings and you have a B major chord. But if you accidentally get that 1st string in there, while I like the sound of that, well, it doesn't really work for our purposes for just playing a B major chord. So what we're going to do is our leftover 1st finger, we're going to take and we're going to put at the 2nd fret on the 1st string. And it's going to sound like that. Now I've got pretty small hands. I suspect a lot of other people do as well. So that 1st finger going over here is a bit of a stretch, and you can see my finger there. It's a little bit on the side. I can't get my finger, it's not long enough, or it doesn't stretch enough to get up on the very tip of my finger. So I'm actually using the side of the finger, this area right in here. You can so there's a little line indentation from the string. So that's kind of how I play it. If you have larger hands, you might be able to just do that stretch with no problem. My thumb, like the F major chord, is still on that top 3rd of the guitar neck like I showed you in the earlier videos. And so it's not like this. You want to avoid doing that. And you want your thumb to be somewhere between your 1st and 2nd fingers in that top 3rd of the neck. So that gives you good clamping force to make this chord. Okay, so that is probably the easiest way to play the B major chord. It's still not easy. It's going to take a little practice, but I think if you spend maybe a couple minutes a day on this inside a week, you should be able to play the chord for no problem. So again, we're going to put our fingers in like we would for that, an A shape. Put our 1st finger at the 2nd fret on the 1st string. Don't forget to check for dead strings. If you end up something like that, a sound like that, it's a dead string. Figure out why, and chances are you're not pushing down one of the fingers hard enough. Okay. Now we're going to strum from the 4th string down toward the floor, and the 5th and 6th strings we're going to ignore them. We're just not going to play them. Okay, so that's the easiest way to play a B major chord. So there's another way to do it in the same position, and that would be what we call a bar chord. And it's a little bit more advanced, but you only need 2 fingers. You need your 1st finger and your 3rd finger. So what we do is I'm putting my 1st finger and barring it across the strings, but I'm pushing down on the 5th string at the 2nd fret. I'm really not pushing down the rest of my finger over those strings. I'm just pretty much just using the tip, but it's laying across the strings, deadening the rest of them. So I have this. Okay, so all I want to hear is that fifth string. The others I don't want to hear, so I'm just let the finger lay across. If you push down a little pressure, that's okay. You'll get better at it. Now, my third finger, my ring finger, this is where the tricky part is. So now my third finger is actually going to bend backwards a little bit, and it's going to bar the fourth string, the third string, and the second string all at once. Okay, so we have that bar going on, and I'm actually just kind of bending it backwards at the knuckle, and to play those three strings. But that's what it should sound like. See, my finger, my third finger there is bent back a little bit. And my first finger is deadening the other strings, especially that high E string. Now, if you accidentally play it with your third finger, that high E string, well, that's okay. It doesn't really sound too good, fit with the B major chord, but it just makes it a sixth chord. The nice thing about this chord is that it's what we call a movable shape. And I can play it up here. So you'll be able to use that chord in lots and lots of songs, especially some rock songs. So what the fifth string, your finger on the fifth string, your first finger there, that's going to be the root of the chord, or the note that gives the name of the chord. So if you learn the names of the notes, for this particular shape anyway, if you learn the names of the notes along the fifth string of the guitar, then you'll know this note is B. But if I move it up one fret to the third fret, that whole shape, I just simply freeze where my fingers are, move it up one fret. Well, now I have a C major chord, because this note here is the note C. If I move it up to the fifth fret, and my first finger's at the fifth fret, my third finger's covering the seventh fret, well, that's a D major chord. So you can kind of see how that works. Now, I do have a course called Bar Chord Secrets Revealed, available on the Udemy website. I'll put a link to it down in the comment section below, and that actually covers how to use these chords and another shape of bar chord as well. So there is one other way that you can play this B major chord, and that is using the dreaded F shape. Okay, so in my other videos, I teach how to play the F major chord. Well, if you get a handle on that shape and you simply move it all the way up the neck so that your first finger is at the seventh fret, there, then you have a B major chord, because shapes are movable. Now, granted, we're only playing those top four strings. But that shape is movable, so I can play a chord anywhere. This could be an A chord, G, and F. But we're working with the B major chord today, so that would be at the seventh fret. So what I'm doing there is I have my first finger barring the first and second strings, which means I'm covering both the first and second strings at the seventh fret. My second finger is at the eighth fret on the third string, and my third finger is at the ninth fret on the fourth string. Okay, so that's the third way that you can play a B major chord. Now, there's another chord that we use a lot, especially if we're playing a blues in E, and that would be a B7 chord. That's a great sounding chord, especially on acoustic guitar. And that's a really important chord to know, and you're going to see it in a lot of songs. So when you see it, don't avoid the song just because you don't know how to play it. Learn it here, and then you'll be able to play all the songs that you want to play. So how I'm doing that is I'm putting my second finger at the fifth string at the second fret. My third finger is going on the third string at the second fret. My first finger is now going on the onto the fourth string at the first fret, and my pinky, my fourth finger, is going to play the first string at the second fret. Okay, so now that second string is just going to ring open. That's what it's going to sound like. We're going to strum from the fifth string down toward the floor. And that's your B7 chord. Now, we can, if you don't want it to be that big, you can simply play the fifth, fourth, and third strings, and you still have the B7 chord. That's if you're having problems getting your pinky to settle down there on the first string. And if you just want to play the third, fourth, and fifth strings, you can still have a B7 That's chord. The B major chord. Now today I showed you 3 different ways to play that. You can play it this way. We can play it this way, the bar chord version, and we can also play it all the way up here at the 7th fret. We also worked on the B7 chord. And remember, if you can't play it, if you can't get your pinky down on there, that's okay, then just play the 3rd, 4th, and 5th strings. But don't forget, keep trying to get your pinky to work up there on that first string. So work on those chords a little bit each day. Maybe I would just take one shape. Probably this one I would start with, the easiest one for that B major chord. And just work on that, spend a few minutes a day. I bet you do. If you did that for a couple of weeks, you'll have a really good handle on that chord. You can also play it up here at the 7th fret. That's not too hard. I showed you how to do that shape. That's the F major shape. So if you're unsure about that shape, you can go back to my video on the F major chord, and you'll see how the shape works. And then earlier in this video, I showed you how to get it up to the 7th fret. And then maybe save that bar chord version for last, and because that's probably the hardest version of this chord. And then the B7 chord, that's fairly easy, so you should be able to get that inside a week. So take your time with them, practice them, check for the dead notes, and find a song that uses them, because the sooner you use these chords in a song, the sooner that you're going to remember how to play the chord, and the better you're going to be when you do it. Okay, so if you like this video, please hit the like button. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know if you're having problems with the B chord, or if you have a tip that might help somebody else. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you'll be notified of when I come out with new videos. And I'll see you on the next video.